Alright guys, so bear with me for a minute because I just bought a mic for my camera here, and it's my first time using it, so yeah, I mean, I feel like it shouldn't be that hard, but every time I say that, it ends up being way hard, so, I mean, that's cool. So, I thought you guys might like to see this before I, throw them away. They're just like the two cups that I had the resins in. This one's clear from like the last bit of resin I had to use, and this one's the blue. Just so you can see what it looks like when it cures, like not in the project specifically, but in the cups. So let's cut these open. Let's cut these puppies open. So this resin's kind of cool. You can use it for a lot of different projects. I used it to cast a rose once. You can use it for a bunch of different things, honestly. Like I said, I used it to cast a rose. You're not really, I wouldn't say you're probably not supposed to use, empty water bottles for casting, but it was just for mixing, so it's not too big of a deal. But let's try to get this peeled. I don't know if it's going to work. The water bottles might, I'm not sure how it works. I know with cans, like soda cans, there's a coating on the inside to keep it from, so you're not drinking chemicals, but I'm not sure if water bottles have that. I'm just going to wipe it on my pants real quick. I don't know how this one's going to go. I'm not sure if the resin really, it might bond the plastic. So this is just kind of like I'm winging it. Alright, don't think I'm going to be able to get all the plastic off this one. I'm going to try the other one because it's like a different kind of bottle. It's a little thicker, so, because this was just like a Poland Spring bottle. But that's what it looks like. It's kind of cool. I mean, this one's not going to be completely clear because, like, when I was sanding and stuff, crap got in there, so it's not perfect. So let me show you the clear one. It just looks like this. It's cool. So let's open this one up. Try to get this one open. I know when you do castings, you're either supposed to buy a special like silicone cast or a special plastic cast, or you're supposed to coat the inside of whatever you made the mold out of with a release agent. But obviously I didn't do that because this isn't a cast, but it's coming off. Let's see if I can get the whole thing off. Right, hold on, guys. Ray! I'd like to point out what my cat's doing right now. Honestly, I don't even know how he got up there. It's not even like a platform up there. He's just kind of like chilling. I don't know. He's an idiot. I really don't. I have no idea. Let's keep getting this off. So I'm just going to use this utility knife. If you're doing this at home, just don't cut yourself. I'd wear I'd wear gloves or something, but I'm just not. I'm just not going to do that, Ray! Oh! But yeah, so that's what this looks like. So you can see this resin really does. It dries really nice and clear. It's not the best, but it's definitely decent for like the price you pay. I mean, it's not cheap, but rather than going to get like West System or something along those lines, it's Ray! Anyway, so yeah, it's decent resin compared to more expensive things you could buy. It's decent. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but if you work with it right, it does come out clear. So yeah. let's get on with this.
So the first thing I did was I grabbed some 40 grit and put it on my sander, and I just ripped through the top layer of resin. You don't really have to be super gentle with this step because, like I said, you're just ripping through resin. Obviously, when you get down to the hardwood, you really want to be careful because it will, obviously, it will rip through the wood a lot. 40 grit will do a lot of damage to wood rather than resin. So, but as long as you're just going through the resin, it should be fine. So I kept sanding this down and sanding this down until I got down to bare wood and till I could make the resin match up with the height of the boards. Now this took a while, so I'm really fast forwarding through this part. It took a long time, but it's just one of those steps. I mean, you have to do it. I probably didn't really have to put resin all over the top of the table. I did because there was a lot of small cracks and such that I wanted to fill, and some of them you couldn't really see either. It was weird. So I just decided to pour resin all over the top just so like all the small voids would really, really get full. But of course, you don't really have to do that. It would probably save you a lot of time and resin not to. That's what I did. So what I ended up having to do after I had the whole thing sanded down, like you can see here, was add a little bit more resin in those spots that are shiny. The resin it dipped down a little in those spots, so I just had to add a little bit more clear just to bring it up to height. It just happens. The resin settles as it cures, so sometimes you'll have problems like that. But I mean, that's just how it is working with resin. You just have to work with it because it's going to do what it wants, so you just kind of have to go along with it. So once again, I just took the 40 grit and I brought that resin that I added down to the height. And once again, this took a while, so just take your time, be gentle, because the worst thing you could do is go deeper than you need to, and then you have to add more resin, and you're going to be putting yourself in an everlasting circle of adding resin and taking resin away. So after that, I sanded down to 220, which I don't have here. I mean, this is actually the back, but, you know, it's the same concept. I sanded it to 220, and then I got my polish out, and I just started polishing the resin. Now, you'd get a lot shinier finish if you sanded it down to even 1,000. I didn't have any. I'm contemplating. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do yet. I might just go get order, whatever you want to call it, some higher grit sandpapers so I can really get it down to like 1,000 so I can get the finish a lot shinier. Just for the purpose of the video though, I wanted to polish it up to just show you guys what it could look like. So this is just, I mean, like this is an ongoing project, so I'm not too sure what I'm doing yet, design-wise, so I'm just kind of making it up as I go. But this step is just polishing down with polishing compound. Another thing is too, you can use a buffer. I know I have one somewhere. I just don't know where it is at the moment, so I didn't use it. So you don't have to do this by hand, but I just did it for the sake of the video. So there you go. So as you can see here, I did the same thing to the top. I polished it down to 220, and now I'm just taking the rubbing compound and buffing it up. And it's the same process we used on the bottom. It's the same thing. I didn't show the sanding of the bottom of the table for this video just because it took a lot longer because I had that masonite stuck to it. It was a mess. So I didn't record that. Plus it was dark out. It was a nice warm day and it was dark out and it wouldn't have looked very nice, so I just didn't put it in. Alright, and the last thing I did was I took some wax and I just waxed up the resin just so you could see what it would look like with a nice shiny finish. So all those little like marks in it is just the marks from the sandpaper just because I didn't go down to a super high grit, but as you can see it's pretty good. It's nice and shiny. like I said, I might order some higher grit papers. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this video, and if you do, give me a big thumbs up, and I would love it if you subscribed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.